How are we, guys? The gloves are off with myself, Curtis Woodhouse, former British light welterweight champion and former English light welterweight champion. Just a quick one, this. A overview of the weekend, as I've had Harry Powell and Adrian King boxing over in Holland. First of all, what a beautiful country Holland is. We're over in Feyenoord. Was it Feyenoord? No, Eindhoven, sorry. Eindhoven we're in. Yeah, beautiful country. Tretter's really good. The weather was amazing. Great place. Really enjoyed our time there. On to the fights. The venue was absolutely packed. Apparently the guy that was top of the bill, it sold out 8 weeks ago, this show did. The guy that was top of the bill, I've forgotten his name. He's like super famous over in Holland, really big kickboxer. Yeah, he's massive over there. He was top of the building. I didn't even watch the fight once my lads had boxed. I went for a nice cold beer because I felt like I needed it. So I didn't even see the top of the bill. But yeah, apparently the guy was super famous. And everyone over there was amazing. Tretter's really good. First up was Harry. Stepped him up to his first 6-rounder in just his second professional fight, which I was very comfortable in doing. And he was in with a guy, I've forgotten his bloody name, Summit Gurk, who was taking part in his 204th professional fight. So fair play to him, and he was tough. He was very tough and crafty and just knew how to just get through. Harry hit him some big shots and consistently kept that jab in his face and boxed really well. Harry's 6'5". You know what? He might even be taller as well. He might even be 6'6", Harry. He's huge. He weighed in at 173, which is closer to light heavy, on Saturday. For his debut, he did 169. And he weighs in heavy because he fights on the day. But when he goes the day before weigh-in, Harry will operate at 160 pounds, which is middleweight. And he's going to be a serious contender because he's so big and he's so long. Tried to get him to sit down on his punches a little bit more, so he's punching harder. He's getting a lot more variation in that lead hand as well, and understanding, you know, how to what's the word I'm looking for? How to really control that distance. And I was really happy with his performance. He's had two pro fights, Harry, and I'll be honest, I've been super impressed with both of them. In against two tough guys, and he's boxed amazing. The feedback that I've had from Harry, of people that were there, even the referee said to me after, how many fights has Harry had? I said that was his second, and he was like, oh wow. And he's like, he's going to be a champion. The referee was really complimentary, and everyone after was, yeah, blown away by his performance. So yeah, he was great. One thing I will say, right, so the guy he was fighting, and this is something I've learned again, so when I go away, I'm going to need someone with me. So I had my son with me. He's not got his British Boxing Board of Control license, but he's there to kind of help me in the corner and to assist, but doesn't really know the technical ins and outs of the game and the rules, really. First of all, when we got told we were allowed to wear our own gloves, so we took a pair of brand new gloves to wear, and the guy was wearing his own brand, so I checked his brand. I was happy with his gloves, he was happy with ours, so we're fine. We're going to box in our own gloves. And then that got changed because the guy who was putting on the show said that he had his own gloves, that he'd obviously paid a lot of money for the sponsorships and all things like that, so he needed us to wear them gloves. Absolutely fine, no issues with that at all. As long as both lads got the same gloves on, I said I've got no problems with that. I felt like something was off. No one spoke English, and I said, listen, I mean this in the nicest possible way. I said, I don't trust these lots as far as I can spit. So I went and did a little, I went into his dressing room, he's next to ours, and he was about to put his gloves on, and I asked to check his hand, his bandages, and they were rock hard. They were rock hard. There wasn't like plastic of Paris in them, but he'd had them for a long time. I bet he'd worn them to 10+ fights, so they just got crusted and they were hard. And I said, you got to take them off. They couldn't speak English. He understood a little bit, so I went and got the inspector and said, he's not wearing them bandages. They need to go off, otherwise we ain't fighting. So the inspector then made him take them off. They didn't argue, they didn't protest, but they were more than happy to put them bandages on. And yeah, they were rock hard. It was like having bloody knuckle dusters on. So I made him take them off, and the lady that wrapped Harry's hands then wrapped his hands, made sure we both had the same gloves on, and we did the ring walk. And yeah, just a little bit of experience for me, really. I need somebody with me. I need somebody with me that knows kind of what they're looking at and can stop any of that happening. Because that potentially could have been a real problem. Because honestly, they were rock hard. And then Harry went out. He loves it. He's a real showman, is Harry. He spent about 10 minutes on the stage before he got into the ring. I was like, any chance getting in the ring? But yeah, he gave it the full shebang. Went into the ring and boxed beautifully. Really did. His variation is coming on, and he's going to be a top fighter. And you know what? I mean, it's not my story to tell, but he's had some difficult periods in his life as Harry, and he's just come through it, and he's just starting to really grow and mature. He's just turned 24, so a perfect age, and he's going to be a right issue. He's going to be a problem in the middleweight division. So the aim is for him to box regularly this year. I'm going to try and get 4 or 5 in for him if I can this year, and then next year I'll be unleashing him. I really will. I'll be unleashing him, because I think in and around this level he's at, I think he's way above it. So we don't need to be hanging around forever, but we need to get him seasoned. We need to get him conditioned so he can do the 8, 10, 12 rounders. And hopefully by the back end of next year, he's in the mix for British title fights. That's Harry's dream, is to win the British title. No one from Hull's ever won it before, and that's what Harry wants to do, to win the British title. And there's no doubt he will fight for it. Absolutely no doubt. The kid's really, really good, and he's starting to crack a little bit harder now. He had 29 amateur fights, won 25, I think, something like that. He's got a very good amateur record anyway. Never stopped anybody. When I first got him, I could tell he'd not stopped anyone either, because before he'd even landed a shot, he was jumping out and, you know, just that horrible amateur style, which you'd probably teach somebody if they were 6'5", to be honest. So no criticism of anyone who had him before me. It just wouldn't translate very well to professionals. So we spent a good lot of time breaking down his style, really, and ripping it apart and trampling all over it. I was like, listen, we got a lot to change here. And the good thing is, like everything, a lot of this depends on how good the student is, not how good the coach is. I always say to Harry all the time, like, I'm not Emmanuel Stewart by any stretch of the imagination. How you get will be dependent on you more than me or more than anything else. So, and as a student, you know, we go backwards and forwards with different techniques, and I really, really like that. And that's what's going to develop him into a top fighter. He can still do with getting stronger. He's very lean and tall, but I mean, Adrian's body sparred him a few times, and he says to me, he said, he's not weak, he's strong. He sparred Troy Williamson the other week, and Troy was like, oh wow, he's really good. He was super impressed with Harry. He's beaten with some good kids in sparring, and always done really, really well. So yeah, I'm quietly confident about Harry, and I'm really, really impressed with what I've seen over 2 fights, and I think he's going to go on and have a fantastic career. And another thing I've seen from Harry as well is he's tough. He's tough. You know, when he has to get down and dirty and dig in, he's got it in him as well. You don't want to see that too often, but it's in there. I've seen it. So yeah, really, really happy. Really top performance. I would give it, if I'm rating it out of 10, I'd give it a 9. And the only reason I won't give him a 10 is because he didn't stop him. But, I mean, the kid was tough. He took some shots. And the gloves that we actually had on, they were huge. They felt like 16 ounces, not 10 ounces. But yeah, I'd give him a 9. Excellent performance. And yeah, and I think with the 2 performances Harry's had as a professional, he's realised what dedication to the sport can bring. And not 85% dedication, because that's not dedication, 100% doing it all right. Your S&C, your conditioning work, your diet, you know, early nights, not being out and dicking around. He's realised what the recipe for success is. And now the penny's dropped, I think you're going to see a really, really exciting career unfold.